What's going on, people? I saw this Medium article, and I felt like it was worth delving into, because it's a case of not feeding the trolls. This is an article written by Violet Guinevere Stellar. Uh, I'm assuming that Guinevere and Stellar were not the last names she was originally given, but that's just, or it could just be a pen name. It could just be a pen name, but she's got her picture there, so I kind of doubt it. I'm not denying her gender identity. I'm just questioning her choice of name. It sounds very Cinnamon Winchestery. That non-binary person from Occupy Wall Street. Anyways, she wrote an article called "Gamers to Celebrate Killing Women in Battlefield 5," and you can listen. Look at this. Look at this. This is obviously just a fucking troll post. It's a dumb troll post. Y'all can bash BF5 all you want because it has women in it. We hear this, you can kill. Now, full disclosure, I don't give a fuck about Battlefield. I think it's dumb that people were complaining about gender. I mean, I understand, like, they were complaining about the option to have custom characters. I think that's silly. But EA has been using social issues and progressive grandstanding for years in order to distract from all the really shitty stuff that they do, like the microtransactions and like cutting shit out for DLC or winning Worst Company of the Year twice. They've literally blamed anti-gay activists for why they won Worst Company of the Year. Not because Mass Effect 3 was a piece of shit and their weird need for deadlines fucked it over. Not because SimCity, they lied and said SimCity 5 had to always be online. It launches and the online's a disaster. No, it's just all anti-gay activists. This is, mind you, this is back in this is before 2014. This is before Gamergate. This is that, and people were sick of it then, but suddenly now it's okay. EA was ahead of the curve. Anyways, let's continue. Let's begin, rather. On the release of promotional materials for EA Dice's Battlefield 5, or Battlefield 5, in May 2018, emotions regarding the subject material, the Second World War, in a time of upheaval in the American political landscape where Nazis march unmasked in the streets and enjoy the comfort of glitz pieces in our corporate media, the political nature of Nazism and fascism inherent to World War II seems anything but settled. This political charge is aided not at all by the presence of hate movements surrounding various artistic mediums often viewed as low art or media refuge, or the media refuge of geeks. But the view of video games and comics as art has been well argued to the point of being disputed very little in media that covers them. The only question is the follow-through. Can gamers treat games like art? Now, I'm going to stop you right there, Violet. Battlefield 5 is not a game that's going to have artistic merit. Just like Call of Duty is not a game that's going to have artistic merit. No Russian was great, but it's not. There's no artistic merit. It's just it was just interesting that a video game had you do that. There's no artistic merit to Call of Duty or Battlefield 5. Now, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Nier, Drakengard. Those are games that have artistic merit, and I'm not just saying it because I like those games. Blood Will Tell, a game based on Tezuka Osamu's Dororo, that arguably has artistic merit because Blood Will Tell. Excuse me. Ooh. I just choked on air. Holy shit. Anyways, Blood Will Tell. Blood Will Tell, Dororo is it was initially an unfinished um, work of Tezuka's. However, Blood Will Tell, the PS2 game, is the only adaptation of Dororo that's complete. It has a start, middle, and end. It ends. The plot is the main character. His body parts were sacrificed to a demon, to like hundreds of demons. So each part of his body and his organs were they were given to demons. So he's just like a blind, mute, deaf leper baby that's missing some organs, but because he's got psychic powers, he survives. Eventually, like a tinkerer guy finds him and makes a prosthetic body for him. This is all feudal era, by the way, so it's a little weird in that regard. Blood Will Tell, I'll probably do a video about in the future, but long story short, every adaptation except for the PS2 game, they never finished it. But he finds all the body parts in this game. So that has artistic merit in that regard. Fuck. What other games? Anyways, the point is, games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, they're popcorn flicks. They're just there for entertainment, nothing else. Like, they'll try and be deep on occasion, but no, they're just for their entertainment. So gamers can treat games like art. It's just some games don't have the same artistic merit that others do. Gone Home does not have, in my opinion, is just a very boring game because the plot twist is your sister's gay. That's whatever. But it's her. But it's her. It's a story. It's important. Whatever. As much as the vapid scam artist formerly of Gamergate, not my personal choice of title, as Watergate was not about water, but rather about an office complex of that name, would love to push their sequels, Comascate, and whatever the heck you want to call the anti-progressive outrage towards media like Netflix's new She-Ra or Rebecca Sugar's Steven Universe. It has become clear to us all that what they really care about is monetized reactionary politics. The proof is in the bigoted pudding. Well, first off, Steven Universe started out good, and then Stephen Bombs happened. There's too much filler, and there's too much filler for me to care about the plot now. The first season was paced well, and then the second season was paced well, and then like it started declining at some point during the third season, and that's when I stopped caring. She-Ra's problem is that it follows the trap of well, if we make these characters gay, they'll be interesting. The problem is all the characters are gay, so now none of them are interesting. Like, I'm not gonna watch something. I'm not gonna consume a piece of media just because the main protagonist is straight. I need more than that. I need way more than that. If someone tried to pitch that to me, if they tried to pitch me something and be like, well, the protagonist is a straight heterosexual person, I'd be like, okay, do you have anything else? And then I'd just laugh in their face and not like Bible Man. I like using Bible Man a lot as a reference for how stupid this stuff is. She is right about scam artists. Milo is a scam artist. So is Cernovich. She's right in that regard. Monetized reactionary politics is actually something I do have a problem with. She-Ra is monetized reactionary. People who monetize their activism, like people that get paid to point something out as sexist or racist or whatever, I find them disingenuous because, like, if racism is or sexism is fixed, they don't have a job anymore, so they have to keep finding stuff. The proof is in the bigoted pudding. Whatever. Uh, Whenever these fundamentally conservative and even oftentimes fascistic content creators engage in their creation of said content, what content creator? Who's she talking about? What they really do is find controversy that will galvanize a base of bigoted reactionaries and milk them dry. If there is no controversy, as in the case of Doom Eternal or Cuphead, they simply make them up. This was also often the case with figures like Zoe Quinn or Anita Sarkeesian in Gamergate, the latter of whom has made a very nice series of video that turned into a much larger venture into the art and politics of video. Well, it was an incomplete series, and also Zoe Quinn's an abuser. Gamergaters lied or repeated lies about them and others until it became apparent that the main commonality between these hated women was simply that they were women. Well, no. Anita's dishonest. I don't have any, like... Anita's not a bad person. She's not a bad person. She just found a way to monetize... She's one of those people that monetizes activism, unfortunately. That's why I don't have faith in her being honest about it. But other than that, she's not... I wouldn't call her a morally bad person. Zoe Quinn is an abuser. And when called out on her abuse, when called out for her abuse, game journalists... I forgot what the phrase is. Game journalists circled the wagon and protected her. And then allowed her to be abusive towards people that were marginalized as well. But they don't bring that up. They sweep that under the rug because, you know, they don't want to look like assholes for being wrong. Even though most people know they are assholes and they're wrong. This is also applicable to many comic characters like the new Iron Man and Thor characters who temporarily replaced Tony Stark and the previous Thor as their respective characters. Okay. Riri is just boring. Riri's boring because everything's she's a perfect, flawless character. There's nothing interesting about her. She asked to be oppressed one day so that she could be proven wrong. And everyone's just like, wow, Riri, you're the best. It's a very I mean, if it weren't for the fact that Bendis is white, I'd say it's a very self-indulgent character. Now, Thor's problem... Jane Foster as Thor, her problem was that characters were altered to fit the political agenda. So Odin is a god who has women in his army. He's never said women cannot be warriors. There's a Valkyrie, for instance. There's Valkyries. Valkyries lead the army into battle. Now that might not be the case in the comics, but because like the Valkyries are no more, there's one left, but he's got women in his forces. He's never said women can't do something or other. He respects and loves his wife because she gives him the strength to be who he is. Like, they turn Odin into a strawman sexist who's like, women can't wield Mjolnir. Women should know their place and be in the kitchen. And they do that just so that Jane can beat the shit out of Thor. Or no, I'm sorry. Jane can beat the shit out of Odin. So they have Jane just beat up Odin. Probably, and from the panels I've seen, it doesn't really take much effort either. So it's just another boring character who has other characters altered to be straw men so that she can own them. Where many saw writers attempt to understand how a female character would map onto a much beloved and familiar role, these particular twerps saw a nefarious attempt to erase a character that looked like them from the comic. No, because there's been a woman that's wielded Mjolnir before. Nobody cared. Like, if they just said this person is Thor for now and we're finding out who it is, the way they approached it came off as antagonistic to begin with. And then they got reactions, of course. I mean, I suppose people are dumb for taking their bait, but they came off as antagonistic. When X-23 was Wolverine, they would make jibes saying that like only nerds don't like her as Wolverine, but no one had a problem with her as Wolverine. Because people like, I do kind of wish that she had a closer relationship with Logan, because it would make her being Wolverine more impactful. But she's his genetic child. It makes sense that she would be Wolverine. Better her than who else could you have as Wolverine? You could have Dakin. He was Wolverine for a while. He was gay, but he's also evil and a rapist. Okay. Let's see. Mayor Marion Barry. Yeah, now compare that with number of male soldiers, snipers, kills, and whatever else. You can bring whatever numbers you want. It won't change one simple and obvious cultural fact. War is not a female business. You can't make female look good in real war surroundings, and you can't build proper war surroundings around proper female soldiers in a war story. That's a refreshing point of view from a female. Okay. That primer on the Gamergate mindset has been brought to you in part by the many assholes I have watched argue online about whether women should be in Battlefield or in a classic comic role, or how sexualized they should look in the new cartoon series, or whatever particular straw happened to break this camel's back. It was probably the tweets salivating over the sensation of watching women die, though. Again, you're taking bait. They're fucking with you. Someone on Twitter posted that, hoping that someone would react, and boy, did you just give them a few paragraphs of a reaction. They're probably beating off while they read this. In a lot of ways, Battlefield 5 is going to be a step forward in its industry. Loot boxes for non-cosmetics have been guaranteed to be a non-issue. Paid downloadable content will not be making a return, and the game will receive free updates, as far as you know. EA is going to walk it back eventually. That's a nice twist. One of multiple promotional banners also pictures a disabled woman serving as a soldier. Now, this is a small feature, of course, but it makes sense that soldier fighting on the front lines, especially as part of the French resistance in World War II, could become disabled and fight on. There's no stretch of the imagination there, no matter what some chud on Battlefield's official forums might tell you. But there's misogyny, and then there's misogyny. I happened across one particular Twitter thread days ago on what I can only describe as an incel pickup artist abuser fever dream. Let's see what this is. What's...
No one responding to your dick pics, despite listing The Shawshank Redemption and The Big Lebowski as your favorite.
It's H Bomber Guy, former Medicare troll forum activist, H Bomber Guy, who got really guilty one day and decided he's gonna become the complete opposite of a troll and just be an obnoxious fucking social justice nut job, just like Haberman. I'm just gonna thumb this down because H Bomber Guy's not. I don't like people being. It's the same problem I have with Ian Miles Chong. They realize that what they've done is wrong, and then they don't like what they've become, so they just become the total opposite, and it's obnoxious. Like Renfamous, she was a huge, horrible homophobe. She realized that what she did was wrong, and she decided that, hey, if I'm like this, then everyone else, including men, must be like this or worse. When we're not. Nobody cared that. Like, people that have that hatred are ridiculous. So she's dumb. And H Bomber Guy realized that maybe trolling little kids on the internet wasn't the greatest thing to do, but now he's just obnoxious in the other direction. What follows are some sparse Anyways, back on topic. What follows are some sparse examples of a larger pool of replies to the tweet pictured at the top of this article, which is itself not only version of the sentiment voiced on this particular website. These are troll tweets. You dummy. God. You have some fucking self-awareness. All right? I don't understand. Why can't you just be like, oh, they're trying to bait me. Oh, yeah, they're trying to bait me. Look at this. Yeah, oh my, like, do you seriously think these people are legit? Holy shit. I take it back. That game is fantastic. I can kill a POC disabled female with a knife while playing a blonde Aryan Ubermensch. Something tells me these ideologues didn't think this through. Think about it. You could teabag a woman. Funny, because if you kill them, they stay on the ground for opportunity to get revived by teammates, so they'll see you teabagging them. You can't cut her head off and fuck the trachea, though. Now I'm tempted to buy this. Well, this changes everything. I'm sold now. This might actually get women removed from the game. Great work. True equality. See, this type of high-quality, nine-dimensional satirical memery can only be expected from the most intellectual of communities formed around the appreciation of art. It's satirical. They're fucking with you. Clearly, the problem with that expectation is exactly the problem with these movements. They refute the quality of the material for which they would otherwise claim to have any kind of respect. If you like video games, do you obsess over where women appear and what obscene violence you get to inflict upon them? No. Not unless you've watched one too many videos deep in YouTube's algorithm, I'm afraid. No, they're fucking... Oh my god. This woman's so fucking stupid. Like, when you... I don't understand. What happens? And I don't want to come off as something I'm not, but like when transgender people start reacting to troll posts like this, it's not helping them. It just makes them come off as like, I don't know, you don't feed the troll. And that's what a lot of people in the trans community do, unfortunately. And then it just makes them a bigger target. Just don't do that. Whenever we turn over a rock and watch a bunch of definitely not fascists scatter, the inevitable counter comes that these people do not represent gamers or games. They don't represent movies or comics. They merely represent their interests. That's technically true in its own way, but as I have said elsewhere, this attitude is symptomatic of a cultivated identity around reactionary politics. It's not an accident that violent bigots crop up every time a woman or other minority person attempts to enjoy or gasp appear in a work of art. They didn't. Privatization of us. I don't. You know what? I don't care about Star Wars. I don't care. Let it die. It's like Kylo Ren said, let it die, kill it if you have to. And I don't want to go down this 31-minute read of a rabbit hole. The underbelly of all this work, scam artists and cult leaders are doing in our cultural underbelly fundamentally undermines the culture itself. Someone's projecting. Someone is projecting. Hardcore. No, I don't give a fuck about Peterson. Who's the cult leader? Who's the cult leader? Libertarian icon, sickening hatred of women. I don't know who this okay, whatever. It all makes these spaces, this material, less safe for women, people of color, disabled people, gay people, and whoever else these right-wing hacks feel like targeting on a given day, happening across losers on Twitter, fantasizing about violently murdering women, are just one daily reminder how this industry has a problem with women. We're not welcome, not wanted, and not desirable unless we appear as requested by an entitled male populace. We'll ask why you hear so few women in voice comms and chat online. You know why. Violet, you need to just chill your shit, alright? These people, you just gave these people a dinner. You fed them a dinner because you reacted to them in this way. What do you propose we do about them, Violet? I want you to tell me. What are we supposed to do about them? Can we just, do we just ignore them and let them mingle amongst themselves? That's not good enough for you, right? What do we have to? We have to get rid of them? What do you propose we're doing, Violet? I want to hear your solutions. Please respond to this video or my tweet, my Twitter, at Toombahat. Please, I beg of you. At Gwen_no_fear. Respond to me with solutions on how we deal with trolls saying shit to get a reaction out of dumb idiots like you. Please, let's read some comments. Nah, let me not. I live on Twitter. I see some horrific shit every day, but this is the sickest thing I've seen on for a while. That one commenter typing like he's autoerotic asphyxiating at the thought of it. Like women have never been killed in war before. Yeah, he's... Oh my god! It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Like, no other game has ever allowed you to kill women. Like, this is a whole new fetish utopia for their fantasies. I felt pretty nauseous reading through those comments. Only play was never my style, but it makes me glad I don't bother playing competitively. I always play a female character if available, so I imagine my experience would be damn near unplayable with gamers like this out there. Emoji face. This is just someone with a boring argument that we've all heard before. Like, we need better arguments than this. Like, this is, I understand this person's right, but this is not enough. Where to start? The push to add character aesthetics that historically do not compromise the truth of that period of time warranted its own frustrations. People who studied these subjects recognized that there was plenty of examples of women, ethnic minorities, and poor contributing to the war effort in their own way. A few examples of women in harm's way during World War II exist. This has not been ignored or denied. However, the backlash surrounding said aesthetic changes for the newest iteration of Battlefield caused people who were not going to play the game to begin with attempt to gatekeep said aesthetic quality by complaining and harassing people who disagreed. Even when provided with factual and statistical data that has proven for decades and still proves that women were a rarity at the front, more so than people of color. As a veteran who is an avid gamer and member... hang on. There we go. Not now. As a veteran who is an avid gamer and member of a volunteer development team, I couldn't care less if there are women or people of color in my unit. They're serving alongside me. However, in the historical context that the developer, EA, had advertised long before the game's launch, they lauded over its dedication to historical accuracy and yet circumvented it because one member of the senior team wanted to make his daughter happy and put those aesthetic changes in there. Okay, so... Again, I don't care about Battlefield. Your daughter shouldn't be... His daughter is like... she's not old enough to be playing Battlefield. Battlefield's rated M. She shouldn't be playing it. That's it. That's it. And just like that, a video game franchise that garnered cult status by its reverence to accuracy did away with their core fan base by not just alienating them, but ostracizing them as well for raising concerns about the quality of the game going forward. The effects of such made ripples in the ongoing culture war, and for EA itself, the lead developer left after being given a massive bonus for leading the development of this game. Soon after launch, stocks have fallen around 40%. This was a response by the gaming community to people who attempted to gatekeep the aesthetic and historical accuracy of a game franchise. They themselves would never have to play or touch simply for the sake of doing so. It adds no real historical context, and it opens up the gaming community of that franchise for their own personal response. Enter your article. I'm happy that EA's stocks have fallen for 40%. Like I said, I think the outrage over the option of female custom characters is silly. However, if that's what it takes to kill EA, I'm all for it. Like, EA, you should not be defending EA ever. No matter what. Even if actual Nazis were somehow capable of taking down EA, let them. Let them take it down. Don't defend EA ever for anything. They're a shitty business. They're a shitty corporation that ruins franchises and puts good developers out of business. The article begins by painting the gaming community at large as bigots and comparatively Nazis for having the supposed audacity for mocking the aesthetic choice they did not ask for. Another point I would like to mention is that for far longer than this culture war has been going on, gamers have always had a competitive nature about their hobby. Multiplayer games in any facet are no exception. Less so for the FPS genre. People get involved in the game because they want to achieve success. Psychological tactics that were used in actual military conflicts found root in gaming. Deception, emotionally baiting your enemy, and humiliation of a fallen foe in front of his peers have always existed, and in this case, the culture war that was started over integrity of games journalism has spun into a disgusting display of emotional one-upmanship. Hemming and haranguing over the display of users openly mocking the aesthetic change on social media platforms is probably the more ironic thing I've seen. You asked for inclusion, and this is the inclusion you get, particularly in a community that will never change for someone's emotional respite. So enjoy getting teabagged. That's not going away whether you're male or female. Step 1, shoehorn women into World War II Western Front combat game. Step 2, whine when they get killed and you get mocked by a handful of people while pretending it's a major crisis of fascism while ignoring your part. You wanted equality, you got equality. Everyone is treated the same, and now you don't like it. It's true. That's true. They do. Social justice people lie. They think the cause is more important than they think the cause is that important that they'll lie. The ends justify the means. It's like when people lied about weed causing 9/11. Well, the second comments are indeed misogynistic, outright disgusting. Singling them out does not make for a very good argument. The majority of gamers are in fact not like this and just want to enjoy a good game. This is just a highly exaggerated reaction to the injection of current politics into a video game that is supposedly recreating history, something I myself find distracting, and your perception of Gamergate is also wrong. Here's the problem with equality, though. It ain't a cafeteria. You don't get to inhabit what you call men's spaces without paying a little deference to the characteristics, behavior, and people who build it in the first place. You don't get to squat in it and whine that it's not your perfect utopia if you just showed up and didn't contribute anything more than a few whines and the demand for women-shaped clumps of pixels. You want to be a part of men's spaces. You can't demand more reverence than any two randos in the environment would give each other. You get the same treatment that everyone else gets. You don't have to like it, but that's not misogyny. That's you being a wet blanket and being completely unable to read the room, which is nobody else's problem. I don't know who Eddie Ross is. That seems like you wanted this. You wanted more female representation in video games, and now you're getting it. And of course, you have to highlight an FPS community. You'd never highlight, say, an MMO community or an ESO or Guild Wars 2, where people are a hell of a lot friendlier. I'm a member of multi-game, whatever. Anyways, I just wanted to ramble about that for a bit. I'm working on a tribute to Stan Lee. It's a little drawing I'm making. I'm gonna make a video. I'm not gonna stream it. I'm just gonna make a quick, speed sketch video of it. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say on the matter. This woman is not very good at. She just needs to not feed the trolls. Oh wait, this is her YouTube. Oh shit. Oh shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Time to go down a K-hole.